So, can you walk us through some of the most common foundation issues that homes in this area would have? I mean, it's a lot going on when it comes to that. Can you walk us through some of the most common problems?
Sure. Like one thing is if people took care of their gutter, I would probably be out of business. And that's the most common thing.
As simple as that.
Simple as that. Because water is the devil. And every house settles. There's never been a house that didn't settle. There never will be a house that doesn't settle. Everything's going to settle. But water exasperates the problem. And most people don't take the time to make sure that their gutters are going at least 6 to 10 feet away from the house, that it's falling away from the house. That they might put gutter extensions on, but then every time it rains, there's water pouring over the top of the gutters and right into one spot. Because anytime water touches something, it takes a small piece with it. And so if you've got a foundation that's settling and you add the variable of more water to it, then all you do is accelerate that. And then there comes a point in time where it could settle so much that it's never coming back without help from somewhere on the outside, somebody like me, to go in and stabilize that foundation.
So it's interesting because what I've noticed here in the topography of Louisville specifically is that you have, in some areas, you have 6 to 12 inches of topsoil or soil, period. Then below that is a clay. And so what we find is when that water hits the clay, it expands the clay. And then once we're in a drier time, it tends to happen is that it contracts.
Correct.
And it goes back. How does that foundation issues beyond the obvious?
Well, the big thing is, like, for example, if you build a house and, the first thing you do when you build a house is you're going to excavate and you're going to get your plot, survey, get it ready to go. You're going to tamp the soil, and then you're going to pour your footers. So the footers are the basic building block for everything that you're going. So the footers, if there's rock there, okay, the whole thing, 18 to 24 inch wide footer around the perimeter of that structure is on rock. Where's it going to go? It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay there. But that's not always the case. Every neighborhood isn't rock. There are spots where you might have 3/4 of your house is on rock, but then the rest of it is not. And then that rock is another 10 feet below. You also see houses where one of the biggest problems we see is they'll dig out a basement. They stop at a certain depth because that's where they hit rock. Okay,
Right.
There's the rock. Well, then they take the garage. They don't put the basement under the garage. They put the garage a 3 foot, down depth, whereas the house is at 15 feet down. Well, there's no rock under that garage. So the basement in the house stays steady, but then the garage starts to settle. And then you see the stair step cracks. You see the heaving in the floor, the garage floor split down the middle. And I know you've seen it.
Of course, yes.
And what they do, they dug it out. They took all that fill, tossed it where they're going to build the garage. Then they hauled it off, said they tamped it, and then they built the garage on top of it. Now, back to your point about the soil. Lately, the last several years, the country is, I don't know if I believe in climate change or not, but I know that we've had crazy climate. And so you have these periods of wet. We've had the wettest spring ever in Louisville this year. So you're 100% right. All that soil is expanded right now. Well, every year of the last 3 years, we've gone through a month of dry. Well, when that happens, that dirt under that footer, now it shrinks up and it's like an accordion underneath that footer. And it's moving, compacting, contracting, compacting, contracting. So the house isn't moving every day. It's moving when you have these periods of wet or dry. It's like a stalactite, stalagmite situation. It's time. It's drip, drip, drip. It might move 1/4 of an inch every year, might move 1/8 of an inch, but then we get one dry summer, and the next thing you know, this thing's really moving. Like I had a lady recently. She had a garage, and the garage was detached, and it was falling apart. Man, like you could just see it. Well, what happened to her was her insurance company sent a drone by, completely unbeknownst to her. And she gets a letter in the mail with pictures of her garage taken by a drone that says you have 90 days to either tear down the garage, repair the garage, or we are canceling your insurance. She didn't even know, she knew the garage. They didn't use the garage. They kept boxes. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But now you're under the gun. Nobody wants an insurance cancellation on their record. You get canceled by an insurance company for homeowners, it makes you pretty damn hard to insure. You're going to have a lot of problems. Your rates are going to be high for the next 5 to 10 years. It's a problem. And so the garage was big. It was a 3-car garage. So to demo it was going to be $15,000-$16,000, just a demo. And so then we come back, I could fix it for 9 or 10. That's what we did. We fixed it. They got the pictures. She kept her insurance. So like, you might not be concerned about it. People might be saying, hey, my house is fine. I'm not worried about it. It's that crack's been there for 5 years. Maybe it's getting bigger, but there are other variables out there with AI, with the drones. You never know when your insurance company is going to show up and say, hey, fix it. Well, then nobody wants to have to do something. That's when prices go up. You panic. And there are a lot of companies out there that will see that blood in the water like a shark, and they're going to try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, you don't want the insurance cancellation. The other thing that I wanted to go back to is a public service announcement. I'm not saying, clean your gutters, put those extensions on, get the water away from the house. You can't really stop it, but you want to redirect it. Try to solve that
Yeah,
problem.
we don't want to put you out of business. However, I thought that was telling in that is so, if we just did better water management around gutters and making sure that we direct that water away. I know that there is recommendations that when you have downspouts that go out, that you want to get that water 6